So, if we go back to Survivor Series last weekend, you know, if you've been following along, and if you're watching tonight, chances are that you have, that not only did Ashley join as always, and Scott was here as always, and we actually got a very surprise run-in from Cleveland. Will and Travis came back last week. And we had a nice little run-in from one of the newest members of the Elite, Wit. So we had a lot of people on our Survivor Series podcast, and we hope that everyone enjoyed it. Well, another blast from the past has decided to join this evening. And I've been saying for a while that we would have special guests on the podcast. Well, I think this constitutes as a special guest, to say the least. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome back for a long time away. Welcome back, Mr. Entertainment.
Wow, that's very flattering, and that actually put a really big smile on my face. And it's really great to be back. Rebuild, redesign, reclaim, I guess. To take something out of Seth Rollins' playbook there. No, but it's great to be back, and I haven't actually been the best wrestling fan recently. I've been working a lot, and I haven't watched much of, if any, wrestling in that matter. I haven't watched any WWE, Lucha Underground, or even Impact. So I'm slowly finding the time here and there to get back into it, even NXT. And I'm going to definitely try my best to tune into 205 Live, because I know it's going to be must-see TV tomorrow night. So
you will see on
only one thing can sum what just happened. Stranger things are occurring, motherfuckers! Stranger things!
It's
Holy shit! My nose is bleeding. I need to shave my head bald.
Ashley.
Turn into a girl who's age 10.
No, it's strange things are afoot, not Stranger Things.
No, it's just any excuse to play synth music. Don't make me break out a Daft Punk.
Any excuse to make a Bill and Ted reference on the wrestling podcast.
Absolute, most excellent.
That as well. Column A, column B, column 69.
Big shout out to PJ and Jason.
I like how Ashley hasn't changed one bit. That is so
no, he
refreshing
hasn't.
to hear.
Oh, I have. But not in the way you think.
Welcome back to chat, Jeremy Mills, and welcome to chat, Daniel McDonald. So yeah, let's get this underway. Obviously, we're going to be covering everything we normally cover on Wednesday. Probably the Me and Ashley show again. Usually it's just the Ashley show. We're going to be covering a lot of crazy things that have happened in the world of pro wrestling this past weekend, including one of the most passionate promos I have ever heard cut by Drew Galloway at What Culture Pro Wrestling. It's so much more.
Don't forget Wednesday's also their iPay-per-view.
This is correct.
I'm pulling triple fucking duty.
I want to see Delete WCPW, but I don't have any way to do so right now because the funds are very tight. For good reason.
Keep it tight.
Oh, trust me, I have, especially with my funds lately. That's what happens sometimes, but we'll get to that another time. It's not going to be tonight.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta see if those tickets are going on sale for Raw and SmackDown. The thing is, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. This was a non-Raw pay-per-view week go-home show. The real go-home show will be tomorrow night for SmackDown for TLC, which we actually are covering on Sunday night because there's a lot of things to talk about, so we might as well cover it. And then we'll cover Roadblock, and then we'll cover the Rumble. And then after that, we'll see what happens. We'll put it that way for the time being. But yeah, without any further ado, Ashley, as always, did you watch the pre-show?
No.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Hey,
That's a good.
somebody was early playing Final Fantasy 15. I'm going to that shit.
Well, I laughed because it was like that was like a straight up like that Dean Ambrose. Nope. Just nope.
I just think it's great because he very matter-of-factly said no, and normally he does watch the pre-show. So
I used to watch the pre-show religiously, but then there was also times where I was with Ashley. I mean, I was doing something else and not watching the pre-show, and I didn't watch it tonight. I was just watching videos on YouTube instead. So it's not
More important stuff happened. More important stuff was happening tonight to give a shit about a pre-show featuring a bloke that shouldn't be growing a beard. A five-time ad nauseum.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
oh boy,
A king who isn't named Elvis. Seriously not drunk, Lita.
as always,
And then in
the
brackets
opinions
afterwards.
As always, the opinions of Ashley do not reflect those of anyone else in the Popcast Network. At least not officially.
But they usually do.
Pretty much.
Bring back the highlight reel. They recap what happened last week. Apparently, because we have short memories. In case you didn't see it, Shawn Michaels put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter. Oh, Hebner called for the bell even though Bret didn't tap. And the Montreal Screwjob happened last week. In case you didn't know. Meanwhile, back in the real world. And no, I don't mean that. Yeah, I don't mean you, miss.
Great minds think alike.
Jericho introduces the highlight reel and introduces his guest, the WWE Universal Champ, and his best friend, Kevin Owens. And Kevin's like, wow, I've been on this show for 2 weeks in a row. Is that like some sort of record? And Chris is like, you're making history, man. It's all happening. Kevin says, I'm making history, but that's something that can't be said for Charlotte. They celebrated something called Thanks Giveaway to get one last meal in before I get $6 off a flat screen TV in months because you bought Wii Bowling. Yeah. Someone like the Universal Champ wouldn't do that. But Canadian. They're so hip and happening that they do Thanksgiving a month earlier. So,
What is the point in that?
Kevin goes, well, just to be in, just food of things. I'll say what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for being your Raw Universal Champion. In the face of the premier show that is Monday Night Raw. Or you might want to call it the Kevin Owens Show. And I'm thankful for Chris being my best friend. And Chris goes, hey, I'm thankful for being I'm thankful for you being my best friend as well. Pretty awesome. I'm thankful for my scarves because they're awesome. And I'm thankful for Seth Rollins. Just stupid idiot last week. And then he says, look, you saw the footage last week and you saw what happened. Some people made some very weird accusations because the footage clearly showed It wasn't Y2J wearing a Sin Cara mask. It was Sin Cara wearing a Chris Jericho mask.
Dun, dun, dun.
Immediately, I'm going.
Was brilliant.
Yes, this is. And apparently, because of everything that happened last week, Seth isn't medically cleared to be on Raw tonight.
Boo.
And then, hey, don't boo Chris.
Boo that man.
No. Wait, you want to boo Chris Jericho?
No, I'm just kidding. No, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, since I've started watching, like going
You
back
know
and
what
watching
happens
and best
when you
tag
make a
team.
joke about wanting to boo Jericho? You know what happens? Delete!
Oh.
Delete! Whoa.
Nice.
Broken.
Oh, hang on. There's a bit of small print here. You just made the list!
Yes. My life is complete. I made the list.
Yeah, it's a list of one. It's a list of Aaron idiots. Oh, hang on. I've missed one. Aaron A. Aronson. He's doubly fucked. So Roman comes out to the reception of 20%. Yeah, they. It's not even booze. It's just like, why the shit are you here, son?
Oh, that's funny. That was my reaction that I had. I literally looked over at my dad and said, "What's he doing out here?"
Oh, trust me. When I heard the news that on the house shows, Kevin is facing Roman for Roman's US title just so Roman couldn't win all the time.
Oh.
Now,
On the fact that that Pittsburgh has been announcing this match on their website for the longest time. You had to get to it somehow.
Roman loves how they're, best friends, cracking jokes and everything. And Chris is like, I don't appreciate being considered a joke. And Roman goes, no, you're not a joke. The huge joke is Kevin as Universal Champ. Kevin goes, well, to be honest, the only joke around here is you calling yourself the guy. And Roman says, that's right. Kevin, you're just a guy that needs a lot of help. And Kevin's like, look, I don't need Chris. And Roman goes, to be quite honest, the only reason you've got the title from last week is because of him. And the week after. And the week after. And, well, let's keep going. And Jericho's just like, you know what happens when you question our friendship? You know what happens? And Kevin's just like, shut up! You're trying to screw us over. Don't worry. Just like I did to your pal Seth, I'll powerbomb you on the side of that ring apron. Which, by the way, is the hardest part of the ring.
Ask Sami Zayn.
We'll get to him later.
And Roman's like, hey, this is the guy I wanted to see. Not the friend Owens friend, the fight Owens fight. Yeah. I want to fight you tonight, Kevin. And if I win, I get a Universal title shot at Roadblock. And Kevin accepts. And then Roman says, oh, I'll enjoy kicking your ass on the Kevin Owens show. Overall, this was not too bad, but just the fact that we're shoehorning in Roman because fuck anything else, it's like,
Well, you do know what Well, Ashley, do you know what direction they want to push him for WrestleMania this year?
Don't tell me I'm buying my ticket next week.
Direction without Zayn Malik.
That would be the person that is going to actually be the next person we're about to talk about in the next segment.
I mean Foley.
A little bit later in the segment, the next official segment.
Because then we've got Kevin and Chris arguing backstage after we've gone from commercial. Both now saying to each other, "I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore." And Foley comes in and says, "Like, look, I want this to be a one-on-one match, no interference. Chris, I don't want you." And Chris is just like, "You don't need to say anything, Mick. You know, I won't interfere. You know, because I'm not a friend of his anymore." And he walks off.
Didn't Kevin Owens? I'm not sure if you guys like spotted this in the highlight reel segment. Kevin Owens like messed up mid sentence.
Yeah.
That was really funny. But you know, the brilliance of both Jericho and Owens, which is by far my second favorite tag team, if not tied with a New Day right now, going back into getting the habit of watching WWE again. Their improvise. They did great improvise of that, covering up that little mistake. And also, you know, going off of what Ashley said, you know, you know, Owens and Jericho can stand their own ground in a segment just by themselves.
Of course.
Even though we've seen that time and time before, they're just hell of entertaining, two guys. So to have Roman Reigns come in, I just didn't like, especially like, you know, saying his corny lines like he always does, thinking like he's cool, especially holding the belt wrong. Like holding it like The Rock, because he is the Rock's cousin, tainted by the blood of Dwayne.
Oh shit, we're bringing that back.
Yeah,
might as well tonight. It makes sense.
Especially like when he said, I like that show, and by the end of the episode, I'm gonna be kicking your ass. I'm just like, shaking my head, Roman, just stop, and you know. But yeah, it was a good segment. I guess it served its purpose, because you know my dad had even guessed when Roman Reigns came out. That's how predictable WWE is still, not kinda, but is nowadays. When he came out, my dad was like, "Oh, is he coming out to like face Kevin Owens later in the night?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably, most likely."
Right.
So, you know, but you know, the segment did what an opening segment should do, is to start building the night up.
Give credit to Tyler Powell, Ginger Boy Wonder, back in chat again. Welcome back. He says, "I find it awesome the list of Jericho gets more cheers than Roman."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
but it's at the point now that it's just some people boo Roman just because it's cool to boo Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Which
more
is
cheers than Roman.
Yeah.
James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
I still have yet to like jump on the James Ellsworth train. I don't really see the coolness in him that fans like about him, because obviously there's something that fans like about James Ellsworth.
Fucking Braun Strowman. That's why he's cool.
That's true. Because the next segment, I didn't even watch it. Because it was Braun Strowman. And I was like,
let's epitomize Owen's reaction for this. So we come back out of that promo, and in the ring is Goldust and R-Truth.
Well, shit.
Yep.
And then a Raw comes, and here comes Braun.
Yeah, that's about
And
right.
then they have a match. Oh, I've just realised that's the closest thing to Braun Strowman's Raw.
Well, you're not wrong.
Everybody.
Was this a squash match? Because I remember if it was not last week's Raw, yeah, it was last week's Raw. It was there was 2 squash matches last week.
I'm trying to think of other sports that were in the Commonwealth Games other than squash that we could include. It was a squash match. It was a bowls match. It was a netball match. It was a basketball match.
It was get on Facebook
it
match.
was a rugby seven. It was a rugby sevens match. This is a match that should have been on Superstars, and the only reason I say with that is it looks like Superstars has been permanently cancelled.
Yeah. If I would have been in the building tonight, this would have been an Owen go get Pepsi and a T-shirt match.
CM Punk approves of getting that Pepsi.
Yeah, he'll approve of that in April as well. What's your point?
Oh shit! Damn, is that really a thing? Is he really coming back?
Oh, I highly doubt that. Even though he's trolling the internet hardcore.
Oh yeah, no, he died. I did see that tweet. That was pretty funny.
I thought the only thing they served in Charlotte, North Carolina was what is it? Parker's Old Time Pink Lemonade or whatever.
I liked how the arena. I liked how the arena was named after Bright House became Spectrum. I thought that was hilarious. I saw that like in one of the segments. I saw the sign, the banner on the in the arena. I'm like, oh, Spectrum. Oh, that's what Bright House is now. Still same old shit.
This match sucked. I hate Braun Strowman and his ogre ways. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'd like to have met him at Horror Nights. We were in the other section when him and Bray were in the park. But, I mean, I do not like this gimmick at all. I don't like it. Braun Strowman is basically what Sid Vicious was to WCW in the 90s. The only thing missing is he's not stretching people out, and I'm surprised they haven't went that direction yet.
You know, we've said it before and we've said it again just because I remember that this sounder exists. You know what Braun Strowman is? Good old technical loading.
That silence is wonderful.
Come on, internet.
Silence is golden.
Yeah.
Oh,
even with the technical difficulties, this is a correct statement.
It has been months since I heard that sounder. Oh my god.
This match was worthless. This is how you treat a former world champion, by the way, even though we don't acknowledge him as a world champion because it was the NWA. And that would be acknowledging TNA, which they will never do. Well, they did it already. Brian Danielson did it on SmackDown, but
yes, and
Words of Attitude.
And he also did it in the State of WWE Universe when he was talking to Mick Foley.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That was pretty funny. But yeah,
even though Michael Cole after the match, it's funny because Strowman goes for the Stampede, the running power slam, and he gets the pin, and Michael Cole goes, "Cover by truth."
Yes, he covered him.
Goldust attacks. You remember the old Samuel Shaw bear hug choke? It looks like he's hugging the guy. The judo choke that he was using for a while in TNA. That's basically what Braun Strowman was using.
Christine Hemme knows that very well.
It's the 50 cents in the club. You just got up to the bit where it was "Come give me a hug." So you know.
Oh, you mean how if you read Foley's book, you find out that when the reason why Foley does the bang bang is he was singing Love Shack in his head before he dove off the apron.
Yeah.
Same exact scenario. And of course, here comes Sami Zayn out, and he basically gets beaten.
I thought the Bang Bang came 2 minutes.
Strowman uses what I'm going to refer to now as the Mongo Sledge, just for sake of argument.
Wait, what?
Blazing Saddles. It's a new Mongo move. It's going to be called the Mongo Sledge now.
And I own that movie on DVD. Well, it's been
not politically correct, but it does work.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Thank you. Mongo Sledge. Trio Joey Lawrence. The referees come out, try to stop it. Here comes Mick Foley. He goes, "Stop it, Braun." Commercial.
Wow.
And that leads us to Ashley after the commercial break.
You know, going back to watching WWE, it doesn't surprise me. Still, they have odd placement of commercial breaks.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
And this brings up
Byron's in the ring. Yeah. Byron's in the ring when we come back. And he simply says to Foley, "What are you talking about, Mick?"
So wrong.
And Foley saying, I didn't say Sammy should be part of tonight. I already made that clear on the pre-show. And I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to watch the pre-show. Sorry, Final Fantasy 15, fuck off. And Sammy's like, look, what I had to go through last week, and I wanted my chance to retaliate, and wasn't given the chance to this week. Perhaps you're taking too many orders from Stephanie, who clearly doesn't like me. And Foley's like, I'm going to shout louder because you were not punished last week. You were destroyed. I saved you because I know you can't beat him. Then Sammy, just as loud back, went, well, then, Mick, you're nothing but a hypocrite because you wouldn't be able to beat him either. You're saying, oh, you can't beat him. I thought you were the underdog. You were, it's like, wow. SmackDown much? This is all planting the seeds to AJ versus Sami Zayn. It's all coming to plan. I see it happening. Yay.
I don't like this idea.
The thing is, when we get to that, at least for about 1 hour, I'm hoping Raw and SmackDown's champions will be El Generico and Kevin Steen.
Then we have a title unification match and life is good. Okay, I get that.
No. We can't dream that way. Otherwise, we need to start playing Darude's Sandstorm.
I hate this. I mentioned last week about using Zayn as the perfect person to get Braun Strowman over. And it is a correct statement. However, if this is going to continue... Okay, first off, the irony about this, Ashley, I don't know if this is lost on anybody else, but are we really using the true life Bryan Danielson storyline to get Sami Zayn over?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure it's not just me, because it totally is the same situation, almost in every aspect. We're doing this for your own good.
Sami Zayn is going to see Joseph Maroon next week.
Oh, God, I hope not.
And go, why the fuck were you in Concussion?
I wish I had seen this segment or actually paid attention to it because I was on a phone call during the Braun Strowman match, that and the segment. I know, because I want to see it because I had seen a tweet later on in the night on Twitter that Mick Foley said, yes, that was my Hell in a Cell teeth that fell on live TV. It's just
Yeah.
Sami Zayn brought something out in me. I'm like,
Yeah, Foley's teeth literally came out during this segment.
oh my God.
Quite literally, and Foley was like trying to put them back as he was cutting a promo.
I need to see this if it's on YouTube, and hopefully it's not edited out.
If it's anything like Kevin Dunn, he cut to the crowd for about. Kevin Dunn over the last few weeks has suddenly become fucking Michael Bay.
Oh God.
Because it's just like jump cut, crowd, jump cut, fuck you, jump cut. You just made the list, Kevin. Jump cut.
Pretty much.
So much so that when we got to the main, we cut to the crowd after a close 2 count, and the person was like, "Oh," and then because they were watching it on the screen because they were in the top seats, so they just went, "Oh, fuck, I'm on TV," and then they cut away because it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the best part. Noticing whenever something really risque is said during a promo, regardless who it is by, notice Kevin Dunn always cuts to children in the crowd reacting to it.
Oh my God. And tonight was a perfect example of that on what you had just said. And I can't wait to talk about that.
"Go back to fucking football, Roman." Kid going, "Yeah."
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
That was great. Go back to football or whatever the hell you came from.
Yeah, that was good. I heard it. Oh, you heard it over the commentary.
This show is brought to you in part by No Partners.
But yeah, I can see why. That really is the trend of how Raw is filmed versus, well, when they first transformed Raw and SmackDown into, basically 2 new shows, trying to make it look like they had 2 new formats with 2 new logos and whatnot, and how they were filmed. I like how SmackDown is filmed. It's filmed like as if it's like a movie, and Raw is just filmed still with what Ashley was saying. They go from shot to shot.
No, the amount of publicity that they do for fucking each other's shows. I'm surprised that NXT just doesn't now start doing publicity for TNA. It's become that common to mention the opposition. But considering how many TNA people are in fucking NXT now, you might as well just say, in the middle of NXT. By the way, if you're in the UK, watch Impact on Challenge, because next week it's fucking gone!
I think there's a really good possibility we're going to see a lot of former TNA guys win championships on WrestleMania weekend.
Well, rightfully so. I mean, they've earned their spot in NXT, and not to be called straight to the main roster like AJ Styles was.
You might be seeing one winning WCPW, on Wednesday.
I cannot wait to see that show. I don't know how I'm going to see it yet, but we need to find a way to make that happen.
Oh, there's a way.
What show?
Delete WCPW.
Delete WCPW.
I thought you were mentioning WrestleMania. I was gonna, put out the hashtag bring Owen back to Orlando. Yeah, that's a good hashtag.
I don't want to see Owen with Orlando Jordan again. That was disturbing.
Oh my God.
Hashtag bring Owen to Orlando. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. You say that.
Yes.
Continue. It would be nice.
I start to bring Owens and Owen to Orlando.
And we were in the same place at the same time this year at Animal Kingdom and at Halloween Horror Night.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to say, 2 things going back to how Raw is filmed. I don't like, and my dad is just annoyed. It's really like a pet peeve of us when we're watching WWE sometimes together, is when they constantly are bouncing the camera up and down every hit.
Oh, the Blair Russell Project syndrome.
Oh God, yes, that is a great way to call it because it's so freaking annoying. It literally is giving me a pounding headache just thinking about it. And the other thing I wanted to
Pounding
mention
Just pounding it.
is the opening segment because obviously there's an upcoming pay-per-view after TLC, Walking Dead End of the Line. Oh, I'm sorry, Roadblock End of the Line.
Yes. The
I
difference
thought
is
it was a
Roadblock.
traveling Wilbury.
The difference is, Aaron, Roadblock's not going to become a permanent attraction, and within the next couple years.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like,
you know,
no, he won't be back. Now continue.
yeah, no, I'm going back into retirement after tonight. But then I'll just come back like Ric Flair, you know. One of you could just be like, "I'm sorry, I love you, bye," and then I'm gone, and then I'll just come back with a full comeback, just like Ric Flair did in TNA.
I mean, you could have been super kicked in Orlando, but it never happened.
It never happened.
No, it didn't. It could have at one point, but it never did.
A super kick out of nowhere.
But yeah, I mean, seriously though, it's just one of those things right now.
Dana.
Let's get to our next segment.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Braun Strowman.
Dana, who's in backstage.
Dana White? Oh no.
God, you hate Charlie
Apparently
Caruso so
Charlotte-
much.
Informed on the homecoming tour parade or whatever that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because not only will the feud end with Sasha once and for all, she'll also be the only legend to have ever made it in the business that's hailed from the city of Charlotte. Now, you can see the concept here was make the fans boo her.
Right.
Instead, it was just, woo! It was like, yep. Vince is going to blow his fucking gasket again.
It's nice to see
Guys,
that they gloss
that
over Ricky Steamboat.
People in there are not going to get fucking booed.
Exactly. That's really funny that you say that, Ashley, because I thought that she was gonna get I didn't think she was gonna get booed because they are in Flair country. So, and it really annoys me. This is what annoys me. When I had learned by email about the WrestleMania on sale party that happened at the Dr. Phillips Center, which I was gratefully able to attend out of my busy schedule nowadays, I was not liking how on the flyer in the email she is now known as Charlotte Flair.
I just got a leaked document here.
It's selective now.
The NXT show in Osaka, Japan, which in Shinsuke Nakamura's promo, fuck Japan.
That show, Osaka, Japan, should be an NXT takeover.
They're filming that match for NXT and they're broadcasting it in 2 weeks. So when Nakamura wins the title back on his home soil, we're gonna have video footage of it.
And keep in mind, they're filming the cage match in Australia as well.
Yep.
Paige?
Cage match.
Oh, I thought he said Paige, and I'm like, well, she's eating tacos with Alberto Del Rio now, so.
No, the Page match is a bum fight between Alberto Del Rio and whoever the fuck attacked him all those months ago.
Exactly, catering. I could not believe, like, when I had saw the tweet, I got notification that Paige had announced her engagement from Alberto Del Rio. So as any other male fan did, I was like, let me unfollow and block this bitch.
You don't need to do that to unfollow and block people, Aaron. We know you better than that.
I'm just kidding. I actually did. I did unfollow her. I didn't block her though because I don't want to scoop down to the level that wrestlers have done when I've constructive criticism, criticized them, and then they block me.
God.
By the way, 5 Mildly Moist debuts on the network tomorrow.
I like story time.
It's okay. It's too
I
short.
like it. Yeah. It's way too short. It's one of those new original series that they hype and promote on television, but when you go to the network as a subscriber, well, right now I'm using a friend's account. Shh, don't tell anybody.
What? You're using a friend's account for the network? Oh, duh!
So, hey, don't forget Cody was using Cesaro's account for the longest time. He went on record and said it.
There you go. It is a very short show, kind of like Unfiltered. It's one of the shows that's not long enough. But a quick mention though, since I'm, it's great to be back on this show with you guys. I needed this to be said that our viewers and listeners, and even my entertainers of my own that are wrestling fans as well, need to watch ECW Untold.
It's way too short. Way too short. I want 3 hours of those guys talking.
Oh, clearly, because me and my dad had so much fun. We literally stood there just mesmerized by the stories for the hour and we were hit with the raw emotion at the end.
That we're saying everything on the network's way too short, and then we get to the pay-per-views and it's like it's too fucking long.
Okay, hold on. Everyone knows how big of an ECW fan I am, and anything ECW, I'm happy to see. Now, in a perfect world, the ECW shows would involve Raven and Shane Douglas. But that's never going to happen, and I understand why that's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, Raven didn't even get brought up during the actual show itself. My question to you, Will, why are we on the list of Jericho?
I've actually been put on the list. I was put on the list tonight, and I was actually put on the list by my coworker the other day at work. It was the funniest thing. He was like, "Where were you?"
The list of Jericho.
Well, this
the list of Jericho. It's the list of...
Sandman's more likely than Sabu because, except for the one little bit, Sabu never storyline talked. And then, of course, he had that sit-down interview in WWE and ruined his entire gimmick.
Anyway, cruiserweight action. Hometown
Yes.
Cedric Alexander versus not hometown Tony Nese. For some reason, with Drew Gulak in his corner. Because Evolve?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kudos to the crew that literally changes the frickin' ring just for these matches and then changes it back to Raw colors afterwards.
Yeah, it takes a minute to put up ring ropes, and I know how hard it is to do, so I can only imagine how hard it is to be on the clock when you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I find that weird but cool at the same time that they actually they kind of give Cruiserweight not just their own segment, but it becomes the Cruiserweight show for like 10 minutes at least with the lighting and the ropes.
You know when a Cruiserweight match is coming up or is just finished? Because there's a promo.
Yep.
Another promo.
Because it gives them time.
Set up the ropes.
Keep in mind, right before this, we had, Sam leaving the ring, so you couldn't really see anything happening. And then the whole Dana Charlotte thing. Then adverts.
Well,
Then 205 Mildly Moist.
let's talk about this match real quick.
Mhm.
Cedric hits the backhand spring, head scissors takeover.
The
with Michael-
Entertainer? Sorry.
Oh God, no. Which Michael Cole refers to as a Hurricanrana.
Jesus, Michael Cole. You know,
Speaking-
first he shows up. He still calls moves Ron, and then he shows up to Survivor Series late. Was that
Well,
See, the irony is, I'm going to take a joke from Aaron and adapt it because I think we found Michael Cole's new music for his entrance.
R-Truth pinned himself.
nice.
You know, I've made so many tweets firing at Michael Cole on Twitter, and you guys may have seen them. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me.
I don't know how he blocked me so fast.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I know he's online, and I know he sees the tweet. And same thing with JBL. I guess you or me were in the same boat when we said something about an announcer. They were fast to, hit that block button. But
I mean, I'm sorry. I kind of take some offense to calling moves wrong, but that's because it's a commentator in me. So I understand that I don't have somebody in my headset yelling at me. It's like, call the moves right, Owen, and put the match over. I don't have anybody saying that. But I mean, and I know it's got to be a lot of hard work. But I mean, if you want to talk about move for move, yeah, I just put me in front of 60,000 people at Camping World Stadium and see what I can do.
Citrus Bowl.
I just got to go with what it says on the website. It's funny though, if you look at the promo, we're talking about this on Wednesday. The promo for Snickers coming back for a promotional for WrestleMania 33.
What?
Hungry
Snickers
for
is back.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, Snickers is back. So we're gonna see
What?
those commercials where they bite into the Snickers candy bar and they are a wrestler and then they reveal different things. Those really stupid commercials will be back. It says Citrus Bowl on the press release.
Yeah, and even when before and after.
Did Owen
tickets were
just
on
say
sale-
something to?
Huh?
Did Owen just say the M word?
No.
Oh God! Don't bring that.
No, I said Snickers candy bars.
Oh, right.
You know what? I'm gonna say.
Jiminy Christmas. If you want to bring that up right now, if you want to talk about that,
I
mean,
thought you said.
no.
To be honest, it sounded like Bounty.
Oh God.
You know what Cleveland would say if he was here? He would be saying to Owen, "Disnicker."
Oh boy. That's enough there. Let's talk about Cedric Alexander and Tony Nese. The thing is, one thing about this match that I'm worried about, and I'm scared that they've already started it on television, so there's no turning back now. It's like the Haunted Mansion. Alicia Fox was watching the match, and they are playing up a Cedric Alexander Alicia Fox storyline. No, God, no, just don't.
Well, no. I mean, Alicia Fox, she can become
No.
the lovable girlfriend, and no, hold on, she can become the lovable girlfriend, then turn
No.
into a psycho
No.
girlfriend.
We don't want somebody with talent being tarnished by Alicia.
Well, here's a question: Why is Alicia Fox even still in WWE when I don't even know if she's even still earning a paycheck?
I have
That's
no
the $64,000.
Because they have nothing planned for her ever. So how is she still even collecting a paycheck? Is she doing house shows?
We will find out where Ashley's gold is before we find out the answer to that question.
Where's my fucking gold, Jeff?
Yeah,
Huh.
By the way,
exactly.
we've got the candy bar sponsor of WrestleMania,
Right.
But because they haven't paid us royalty, we've had to censor it.
I guess I know what candy to bring with me when I go to WrestleMania for my fat ass.
Oh, I'm not gonna have any. Oh God! It sounds like Taz's theme.
Yeah, I know. It really does. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you.
Okay. So yeah, that happened.
Nice.
It's so great to have these moments again.
I'm very happy that Tony Nese and Drew Gulak are actually doing stuff on television. Oh yeah, shout out to Travis. It's now officially his birthday.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I gotta give him that birthday shout out. On here first, don't do Twitter. Happy birthday, Travis. Hashtag
Welcome
Tune for
back.
Travis was a thing.
Yeah, it was.
I saw that. I did Too
Yeah,
Many
you did.
Agents a lot for Travis. Just want to let you know. That was my house.
Yeah, we talked about that on the 7.5-hour podcast that exists right here on this network.
Things are still the same.
Yeah. See, this is the music that Drew Gulak should be coming out to. His CZW music with his brother Rory. Amazing! Then again, somehow I think in another universe, this is the music that Fandango and Tyler Breeze had come out to.
I am 100% approve of that. It's like Disco Inferno and Alex Wright, but for the new millennium.
It's rave, man. Rave music.
See, the funny thing about that is, Ashley, if you really want to look into it, the gear that Gulak is wearing in WWE now, they're more Techno Team 2000 than anything else.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so this match goes short. No surprise there. Cedric gets basically distracted, so Tony Nese ends up taking advantage. He ends up hitting a pump handle Michinoku driver and gets the win out of absolute nowhere. Raw is brought to you in part by
that, Randy Orton.
Raw is brought to you in part by Novartis.
Oh God!
Do you know what Novartis is?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's like when Cole said it was tonight brought to you in part by Novartis.
And then
like,
he pauses.
Where's the fucking? It's like, where's the?
Nothing.
There's no fucking tag, right?
It was like dead silence. You almost could hear crickets. Novartis is a global healthcare company out of Switzerland.
Wasn't sponsoring it.
Oh, sometimes. It's a global healthcare company based out of Switzerland. And given the fact that they just released promo materials for their Switzerland shows and did not include Cesaro on them, something's rotten in the state of Denmark. On the other side, this match was solid. It was a little bit short, but it did what it had to do.
Promote 205 Live. That's what these matches-
Speaking of promote.
DJ Promote coming to Eve this year?
Enzo and Cass. Cyber Monday.
Oh my God. Can we not? Please.
I'm
done with Valentine stuff.
Any segment with those two, though, it's just like Owens and Jericho. If Owens and Jericho were doing Black Friday or Cyber Monday, they're great.
No, this is stupid. they have become a laughing stock. But the bad thing is the only people that are laughing are the people that are paying attention. I don't dislike Enzo and Cass.
To be honest,
I hate where they're
we did
going.
last week, considering they were still in Toronto for like the Black Friday week deals, they should have just had the 5-second quote from the infamous promo Survivor Series, where they're saying like, "We're in Toronto and I like money, so I made a special shirt." Just have that. And that's the promo.
Just a big
That's
picture of
something up.
Mr. Krabs. I just don't like this. I don't like what they're doing with Enzo and Cass. I hated what they did last week.
Last week proved that Enzo is not just a certified G, he's a certified D.
Oh, God. Yeah, for D-bag.
What do you got here? A couple of haters?
I'm just tired of it. It reminds me of the old George Carlin bit. It like the bada bing, bada boom. Next guy says bada bing, bada boom's getting kicked right in the nuts. And apparently Rusev watched that bit too. Because that's exactly what happened to Enzo tonight.
Well, let's just say what we may have all ate for Thanksgiving.
Nothing.
Mashed potato.
Nothing at all. Nothing. I didn't eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Pumpkin pie. And the main course, turkey.
My head hurts.
It was
yeah,
cracky.
but you know what's coming next.
Yep, and I'm gonna drop the line too because it's me the one that has to bring it up.
You know what's coming next. It's my favorite person. Hang on, I need to put a penny in the machine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this isn't the Vaudevillains because this is actually funny. It's the Great Caruso!
Oh, God!
Roll up. See if anybody gives a shit about this promo.
I don't think anyone just likes Carly Caruso more than Ashley does.
And she's like, Chris, we saw what happened last week with your fake breakup and makeup that happened. So, are you being serious about it tonight? And Jericho's like, I am deeply offended by this. Yes. You know, and he turned his back on me. And, you know, if Kevin doesn't need me, I don't need him. And he walks off to his car. And the chauffeur dallies around and accidentally, when opening the door, knocks the list out of Chris's hand. And Chris, you know what happens when things like this happen? And he bends down and picks it up. And then as he looks up, he's face to face with Seth Rollins. The parking lot.
I mean, honestly,
which was done so badly that I don't know how the hell that you were going to do a bloody a pedigree attempt reversed into throwing somebody on top of a car when there wasn't enough upper body strength from Jericho to be able to do it.
Yeah, that didn't really work. Neither did them throwing the guardrail, and they were attempting to crack the windshield, but they missed miserably.
The thing is, though, you know why it didn't work. It was cursed. And you know who it was cursed by?
Oh boy.
Damn you, Caruso!
Oh god. Just I don't know. I just don't know.
I've left them speechless, motherfuckers. Yes!
WCW Backstage Assault called, and it wants its gimmick back.
Christ. So many of the segments tonight felt like an Attitude Era Raw.
Right?
It's just like, no.
That's
I know we
that's what
yearn
I
for
like
that,
about tonight.
but after seeing what we got from it, no. No, and thrice no.
Oh god, no, never anymore. I'm done with it.
Speaking of no, Raw Women's title match right now.
Well,
Sasha versus Charlotte.
I should have known something was up, because right away, bank statement gets locked on. Rope break. Dana gets involved. She gets decked and thrown into the ring steps. So they go back and forth for a while. They fight in the crowd. And I was thinking, like, wait a minute. This shouldn't fall to anywhere. Why don't they just restart the match? So the referee was taking his sweet time to the point that I heard him count 8 once. And then when they're fighting again. He pauses and then he counts 8 again. And eventually they finally go to the double count out. So this match that's been heralded as the end of the feud goes to a no contest because of a count out. Here comes Mick Foley. And he decides he wants to make a statement. Letting them basically take a little bit of time to rest, but come back later where the match has no countouts, no disqualifications, and yes, is false count anywhere. I don't know. I mean, the match was going okay so far before they ended it abruptly, but there wasn't much to it.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, there is.
Because Foley comes out and says, no! It's not going to end like this. Not this way. You know, get some rest. Because later tonight, it'll be a rematch between Charlotte and Sasha. But this time, it's no count out. It's no disqualification. And it's falls count anywhere. Right here in Greensboro, South Carolina. Oh, shit, wrong one. Charlotte, North Carolina. That would have been the proper heel promo.
Right.
Should have done a Greensboro promo. Oh, I love Greensboro. It's like, boo! That would have been the proper boos.
You know, funny story. I saw Mick Foley and Mark Henry up close at work, and it was at a private event. And I literally was tempted to say to Mick Foley driving by in the ECV, "Have a nice night." But I didn't. I had to keep my cool.
But your response was, I like my job. So I can't really say anything.
Exactly. Like, I've had taken pictures of Mick Foley before, seeing Mark Henry in person. You know, it's the kind of job, whereas versus other jobs where you could probably get away taking a picture with, the celebrity you come across, but not this one. But
Foley was in attendance as the special guest referee for the first wrestling show I ever worked, when all I did was set up seats.
oh wow.
Yep, that would be the first and only time I've actually been able to be close to Mick Foley.
Yeah, I met him backstage at TNA during his time there, during a pay-per-view. Forgot which one it was. I want to say Sacrifice in 2009. And the book signing for Countdown to Lockdown in Barnes & Noble.
See, I would go to these things if I were in town, but I'm sadly not.
So, oh god. So Lana's in the ring and goes, and now, people of America. Holy shit, she got it right this time.
Yeah.
We stand for Rusev as they recap Enzo being naked last week. And Rusev, to quote Iron Sheik, beat the fuck out of Enzo. And Enzo and Cass do the usual intro. Then Enzo plays off, how Lana saw him naked last week, and yeah.
Stuffed her turkey.
We'll get to that.
When they were sitting down at the Thanksgiving table, eating. Let's go through it. Avocado,
Yes. How you doing?
bananas,
How you doing?
coconuts,
How you doing?
eclairs, French horn,
How you doing?
gingerbread man,
How you doing?
igloos, Jurassic Park toys,
Hey! Oh my god.
kiwi fruit,
How you
lava
doing?
lamps,
How you
mangoes, Nando's, perhaps of the cheeky variety. Isn't that right, Will Ospreay? Ospreys. That's actually a bird, by the way. Penile enhancement pills.
How you doing?
Swedish-made
Cues.
enlargement devices.
Hey, that's an Austin Powers reference. I swear that's not mine.
Randy Orton's lunchbox.
Seth Rollins' dick pic.
The Undertaker's streak.
Sonny's Hall of Fame ring.
Whatever. I gave up at T.
Christopher Plummer?
You son of a bitch.
Comedy for one,
says that
no
Lana-
comedy.
Oh, the one I was thinking about was stuffing her turkey
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
inside my head, this noise.
And I'm pretty sure
I feel that is the sound of Luke Harper the day he ever gets released. He'll just cry. Sound like that.
See, here's the thing about that. It goes deeper than that, Ashley, and this is the part of the puzzle that's entertaining to me. So, as we've talked about on the podcast on the Wednesday show, we've had Summer Rae has been off television for the longest time. And I know via Snapchat, she's always doing promo work, modeling various things. Well, she posted a very interesting tweet back at Enzo on Twitter. And her response to Lana was, "It's not turkey, it's roast beef, and you can't stuff that. Hashtag Raw." Yeah.
How you doing?
My girl gets the last laugh. How appropriate.
So speaking of this match,
Oh,
a couple of moves happen, kicking the balls.
yeah, like I said, it's the George Carlin line. He said bada bing, bada boom one too many times. He just got kicked right in the nuts for it, just like George Carlin prophesized. It's exactly what happened in this match.
Yeah.
Nothing needed to be said about this match. This match was just pointless.
Just what was said in the promo, it was not PG.
No.
True.
And we continue. Or do we?
I mean, I don't want to.
Oh.
Yeah, Rusev, and never talk to my wife like that. It's fair. So then we get somebody else that isn't the Great Caruso. Talking with Mark Henry, because apparently he's in Incarnate.
Yeah, that horrible that might as well be straight to DVD WWE film that's coming out with Aaron Eckhart this Friday, only in 1,500 screens.
They show a clip, and then Titus O'Neil comes in.
I could not believe Mark Henry was getting beat up in the clip.
Titus O'Neil came. No, that's the thing you shouldn't believe. Titus O'Neil came in and said that was a role for the Titus brand and that Mark Henry stole it. I can think of 3 words.
Fuck off. Okay.
The great thing is, this went fucking nowhere on tonight's show.
Yeah, no point to this at all.
Yeah. Sorry, Titus, but now you know why you shouldn't have crossed the boss. Because now you're fucked. Anyway, we actually get to a good, if not short, match next because it's Rich Swann versus Noam Dar. It's PWG versus ICW.
Gotta get Swan.
Really good match. Again, way too short. I get why.
Brian Kendrick ripped Brian Saxon a new asshole.
One of my favorite parts in this match, Ashley, was when Noam Dar locked on a step over standing regal stretch.
Hell yeah.
That looked amazing. Swan gets the shine. He goes to the Rolling Thunder. Noam gets the knees up. Gets a near fall off of that. A roll up for a near fall. And Swan hits his hook kick of infinite death and pins Noam Dar's shoulders to the canvas for the 3. And he moves on to face the current Cruiserweight champion, the Brian Kendrick, tonight on 205 Live.
Mm-hmm. Solid match.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it was too short, but cruiserweight matches are always going to be that
The
way.
thing is, there was a very impassioned promo by Kendrick during this whole thing.
Oh yeah, totally.
It was like, I got fired 7 years ago because of mistakes that I made. I battled hard to get back here. Byron, you've done nothing. You're just a quitter. And I'm like,
This is coming from the guy that trained Eva Marie. Fuck you, Kendrick. Fuck you.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because, I mean, that's a little bit shoot-tastic because don't forget, Byron Saxton trained to be a wrestler and he stopped.
yeah.
So in all essence, that could possibly have been a little bit of a dig at him.
Did he forget to train to become a commentator?
He's not as bad as some people.
I mean, as much as I respect Brian Saxton, and thank him for the picture
I'm
that I
pretty
took.
sure before, his matches with Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole never got in the ring.
Yeah, it's clear.
And I'm pretty sure Mauro Ranallo has never got in the ring.
No.
So why is everybody concerned about, Byron?
I know he's the easy person to go after.
Should be concerned about.
Go
If there's somebody you should be concerned about, he's on the other brand, and his name is Jennifer Hudson's husband.
Hairspray live pun. He said Jennifer Hudson.
Oh boy. Hashtag should have went with Sharon.
Why do you think I'm on here? I'm just kidding.
So now we replay New Day Shady Tactics last week to retain the tag belts against Cesaro and Sheamus. And we cut to a bar, which I guess is somewhere in Charlotte.
Correct.
And Sheamus is having a drink there. And a pint of Guinness. Because stereotypically Irish. Cesaro comes in and asks for a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. And everyone goes, "You're more like the fucking transporter, mate." Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
He's Jason Statham all day,
A
every
gun
day.
barrel gimmick. But, with respect, you're the Jason Statham transporter, not fucking, what is it, Ed Screen or whatever his name is?
Yeah, that movie sucked. I don't want to talk about it.
And, they argue, and then they said, "We'll always have Survivor Series." I'm like, wait, what? Is this fucking Casablanca?
Yeah, it was for a second.
Thank God they didn't say, we'll always have Casablanca. Fuck that film. I shouldn't say that. I
Or
haven't
Gone.
seen it yet.
There.
Or Gone with the
I haven't
Wind.
seen that. I haven't even seen Allied yet, so I shouldn't be making fun of it like that.
You will after you watch it. Continue.
That
That review's also up here on the network.
They're bonding over the fact that, out of 10 teams, they were the only team that survived. And then it started fucking happening. Warning! Warning! Random black dude alert! Round alert! It's just like random bloke just starts coming in and like making fun of Sheamus and his hair and everything.
And he didn't have an 8-pack.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cesaro just calmed him down, like, come on, you don't need to do this. And then it got worse. Warning! Random fat white beard sounding dude approaching. Random fat white beardy southern sounding dude. And makes fun of Cesaro.
And no Twitter, just because he has a beard. He's not Big Damo.
Big Damo doesn't sound southern.
I know, but on Twitter, Damo even took to Twitter and basically says, look, I understand you guys want me on the show and everything, but not every big guy with a beard is me.
No, this fuck was fatter.
Yes, yes, he totally was.
And then Sheamus calms Cesaro down, and they're like, we should leave. Bar brawl. Hello, Attitude Era. We'll have a bar brawl. Except this was clearly inspired by Lucha Underground, because we'll just use fucking weapons in every single spot. Oh, here's a glass bottle. Bang! Here's a glass. Here's a glass of Guinness. Bang! Here's a pool cue. Bang! Here's a stool. Bang!
Did you notice anybody in particular
bang!
in that fight, Ashley?
I don't give a fuck.
You didn't notice Tessa Blanchard and Kennedy Brink?
Oh, fuck them. I don't give a shit about Tessa Blanchard. What I care about is, one, the person she's going out with, and two, the third person in their fucking flat.
Yeah, that's true.
Hashtag 205 mildly moist. Trust me, if Cesaro was on it tomorrow, I will be mildly moist. God damn it. And then afterwards, Sheamus goes behind the bar and goes, free bar! Cesaro actually wants a pint of Guinness. They chink glasses and have a drink. Holy shit. The team that hated each other might actually be on the same page.
Yep.
Methinks we know who the tag champs are at Roadblock.
Uh-huh.
So then we get to Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Where if Roman wins, if Roman loses, nobody gives a fuck. The stakes are high.
Yeah, this match was really good. No surprises here. This match was really solid. And at 10 p.m. exactly, Kevin Owens, the Lord High Master of the Rest Hold, and being able to control the crowd, administered, yes, a chin lock. There we go.
My God.
And where you could hear clear as day, he says to Roman, go back to football or whatever the hell you're doing.
Yes!
One of my favorite lines of the night.
That
Brilliant.
is the chin lock.
Yes.
He is so brilliant.
Oh my God, yes. I would love to just sit down and just talk for hours with him about various, like, not even just wrestling, just various things in general. He is just a very intelligent person that when they finally pull the trigger on it one day, and they will have to one day, Kevin Owens is probably going to be one of the most over baby faces in the company. Because it will happen one day. But Not for a
You
while.
least expected.
Yeah. So they brawled back and forth, and rebound clothesline duck, Samoan drop for a near fall. Owens powders, so Roman hits the drive by. He throws him into the ring. Owens cuts him off with a knee, hits him with a super kick for a near fall. Owens heads up top, gets caught with a punch. He goes for a superplex, gets countered, knocks him off. Superman, Owens gets knocked to the floor. Roman hits a Superman off the ring steps, rolls him in, charges in to a kick, which he no-sells, and he spears Owens off the ropes for a clean win after one finisher. Roman Reigns, quite predictably, is moving on to Roadblock to face Kevin Owens for the Universal title. The match was solid. Really good match. Good back and forth match. I don't like how Roman... Go ahead.
For the what title?
The Universal title.
Oh God, I can't believe we still. I can't believe we still call it that. I couldn't believe when they actually.
We just need the minions to do the theme.
Well, no, it's the only title that matters. Come on, the Universal title is the only title that matters.
Well, yes, every time a Universal title is defended, we create Universal moments. But it's just.
Yes.
I swear, the night when that title was introduced, I thought Mick Foley was on his way of saying WWE Universe Championship. That would have made more sense. But when he said Universal, you already saw the memes. The freaking Universal logo on the belt is just hilarious.
Yeah, that's something that needs to happen for the video games.
Yeah.
I mean, the title was kind of scoffed off hardcore when it first came out. And they gave it to Kevin Owens, and everyone didn't care anymore. So that's all that matters. The thing is, this match was good. I don't like how Roman is now in contention again. I don't know why he's U.S. champion. Him being champion is not doing anything to that title except for not letting it get defended. Except on house shows, which apparently doesn't matter. Get the title off Roman as soon as possible. Get it on somebody where they can actually have a program for it. You can say what you want about Rusev, but I mean, obviously we support Rusev here on the Popcast Network. The thing is, with that situation, at least the title was getting defended on a regular basis. And we've come a long way, and not in a good way, since the John Cena Open challenges. So I really wish they get the title off Roman. Get him completely out of let Owens win, and let him move towards his battle against Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. Because that's the direction it seems like they want to go right now. So Roman and Braun can go fight, and I'll drink Pepsi and go to the bathroom and do other things while this is going on. And then I'll come back, and it'll still be going on for 16 hours. That's how long the bear hug lasts. So I'll go back to what I was doing. I may make a phone call. Anything's possible. I'll come back. There's still going to be a bear hug. I'm still not going to care. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
I had forgotten, my bad. I had forgotten to mention that after Lana saw Enzo Amore be a certified D.
Is that Ed Morrow's brother? Good night. Hey, WFT.
After she saw Enzo Amore being a certified D, that is the best thing she has seen since her days in Banshee.
Oh, God.
How you doing?
Can I get to the most important bit?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Let's get out of this angle.
Right. So it's time for the WWE Network promo. because let's think about it.
What's going on? Why aren't you falling from Fear Factor Live right now?
No, think about it.
If you haven't got the WWE Network,
WWE Network.
what the fuck are you
fuck are you
thinking? You're making us
You're
lose
losing a shit ton of money.
How much money we were making
We
from
were
the
making from the pay-per-view. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know about.
But
So
we're asking you could
$60, of which we get 20, and we get a shit ton of
bloody
money.
ton of money, and now
And us only $10 of which
so much goes to the MLB network because we're using their shitty system. So we're only getting
$5. Why the fuck?
would you want to give us $5?
Give us 20.
Wait, this is for the network?
Shit.
Shit.
Oh my god.
He seems funnier now.
That's a list nobody wants to be on.
Don't make the same joke.
No, but I can make more Bill and Ted references than I just did.
Note to self: when wearing that wave, because the beard sticks through the fucking mask.
Chimichanga.
Fact,
Become like a fucking Brillo. I become like a fucking Brillo brush.
Fact remains, we had a solid match that was worthy of a show that was going opposite a brand pay-per-view week. So they really had to deliver tonight. And for most part, they kind of did. They actually delivered a solid wrestling show tonight. There were some bits I wish I could sweep to Hulu that will never, ever be seen by normal people. But no, this match was good, and they have good chemistry in the ring together. I will definitely enjoy seeing this match at Roadblock. Now, if Roman wins, that's going to be a problem. But I don't think that's going to happen, so I don't have to worry about it.
God almighty. Don't remind me. So, next we have an advert for SmackDown. Twice. It's seriously a case of, right, so this brand warfare thing, are we really supposed to give it down? Especially because the network encouraged us to get the free month so we could watch TLC, which is the SmackDown pay-per-view. I mean, fucking hell. And then after SmackDown. Where was I?
We're getting ready to talk about... Oh, no.
Oh, the circus is in town?
Yep.
To quote Elton John, the bitch is back.
Or Caruso. I can tell with the music.
Fuck. They're like, how are you feeling? And Kevin's like, what's this timing? Haven't you seen what I've been through? The kind of match I've been through. Also, keep in mind, the last person you interviewed, my best friend, just got attacked in the parking lot by Seth Rollins. All I could think about in this match was how my friend Chris was feeling. I was concerned for his well-being. My mind wasn't in the game tonight. Just go away. Get out of my place. I need some time. I need some space and time to think. Thank you. So then we get to Michael Cole with Paul Heyman as they recap 8 seconds. And Michael Cole says, like, what happened? And Heyman, like, hey, that's the $1 million question. in all honesty, we screwed up. We took Goldberg way too lightly. He was out of action for 12 years. Hadn't been seen in WWE for years. He barely did anything when he made his return. Both me and Brock thought it'd be an easy win. But then that push happened. That push was so strong, it broke Brock's rib. And I'm sort of going, bollocks, but I'll run with it because Paul Heyman's speaking.
It was a fucking video game.
Yeah, fucking video game. Yeah. Fantasy warfare just got real. The fucking that needs to be the slogan on the front of the box. WWE. Yeah. Sure, Brock knows that injuries occur, and you got to deal with them as you go. But there's one thing that Brock hasn't felt before, and that's humiliation. And I'm going,
that failed drugs test. That might be what they consider humiliation. Just saying.
A humiliation like that is going to take quite a time to recover from. But then that gives him the impetus to prove something. Something that could make or break him. And it's a Brock that we haven't seen before. It's a Brock that wants revenge. It's a Brock that wants to prove Goldberg wrong. It's one that perhaps even Paul cannot handle. And so Cole just goes, what's next? And Heyman's like, are you kidding? Brock wants to prove Goldberg wrong. Goldberg's in the Royal Rumble. So Brock's going to be in the Royal Rumble. And no matter what the result, who wins or whatever, there will only be one conqueror. And there'll only be one victim. And his name is Goldberg. And I'm like, damn it.
Whose son will be calling Brock
What
Lesnar
shit.
Daddy?
Literally to 48 hours, we've seen Osprey do a fantastic promo. And Joseph Connors just sounds like a whiny little bitch. Make notes, Joseph. Seriously. Learn from the masters. Something will come. So then New Day come out and say how they've only got 17 days left of their title reign before they surpass Demolition's record, and how they beat Sheamus and Cesaro last week, and then they get cut off by Anderson and Gallows. So it's time for your first of a 2 title match. New Day. And this week is Xavier and Big E defending against the Good Brothers Club.
I mean, this match was fine. One thing I will immediately note, there was a nice, very nice Anderson-style spinebuster from Carl Anderson, pun intended. And the comment is made about Arn Anderson being from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's not incorrect. That's not incorrect, but Arn Anderson's not from Charlotte, North Carolina. Martin Lundy is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Arn Anderson is from Minnesota and has been billed from Minnesota since day one. So I'm going to go all comic book guy on you guys when I say that. Really swank Doomsday Powerbomb neckbreaker combo like the Viano Killer, but he didn't sit out with it. He kneed out with it. Still looked good. They go for the Magic Killer, and Big E comes in. He gets caught with the gallows pole. Yeah, that's what it's called. The hanging tree slam, the choke bomb. It's called the gallows pole. Fireman's carry from Anderson. He escapes. Xavier goes for the honor roll. That gets countered. He gets a forearm. It's a rolling elbow. Kudos to Corey for calling it. He should know he's done a few of them in his day. Anderson gets the European uppercut off the charge, goes for an O'Connor roll. He grabs the tights. Xavier reverses, hooks the tights, and the New Day retain. Fight fire with fire. Turnabout is fair play. All the adages, all the really cliche dialogue comes into play here. And it makes sense. It's a decent match. I think the direct point, what they should do now is they should be constantly giving them tough competition. So they make it a personal goal, like that they don't break the record of Demolition. Even though right now I think that they're trying to get rid of that record from Demolition so they don't have to deal with them anymore because of all the litigation that's going on right now. But if there was no litigation going on right now and there was nothing going on behind closed doors with courtrooms and the such, I would think that New Day would face Demolition in this storyline. But no, with the way the storyline's going right now, not going to happen. Decent match for what it was. It's the New Day and the Good Brothers. They have good chemistry in the ring together. I like the New Day. I really do. Xavier's a really cool guy in Men of Horror Nights this year. A really nice guy. And Kofi I've had exchanges with on Twitter. Big E seems like a nice guy. They're very much over, but it's like I'm ready for them to drop the titles. Some people need belts to be over. New Day are definitely not in that group. But they're not really elevating the titles, even though they've held the belts as long as they have, because they're really not doing much with them. They've had solid title defenses, but it seems like it's just every day it's like the same old stuff.
Yeah, that's why, I had mentioned that Owens and Jericho are like tied with New Day to be like my new favorite tag team that should be the next tag team champions in the division, because New Day is kind of like, sadly it is getting old. I never thought I would say that, because they're comedic geniuses and they figure out to do funny stuff and say funny things every time they're out in the ring, whether it's a match or a promo. So they will surpass becoming the longest running reigning tag team champions, though, which is good. That's a good accomplishment. That it's an accomplishment that they deserve. But shortly after they surpass that and reach that achievement, they should drop the titles. I just don't know when. If it's on Raw,
right after they'll drop the titles, Cesaro and Sheamus right after they break the record.
I can't get behind Sheamus and Cesaro for some reason.
I love the team.
It's an odd pairing, but like I said before, like I haven't watched WWE on a regular basis to kind of grow fond of the team more. But
now, if it were me and this was before, obviously, they left the company, I would much rather this be Cesaro and Wade Barrett. But that's a personal thing, and because I'm a fan of both of their work. I like Sheamus, I do. But one of the things about it is I like the storyline. What they're trying to do is it looks like Ashley with this barroom brawl, they're trying to kind of make them into like the new age APA.
No.
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm saying that's what it looks like they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's why I say no.
Indeed. But I just wish, I wish they treated Gallows and Anderson better, honestly. They came in as world beaters, they destroyed everybody, and then they got jobbed out time in and time out. And I'm glad they're making good money and making checks and making towns, and I'm glad everything's working out for them. But I wish they could do more for them on a character perspective and just make them jokes. But this match was fine. Solid semi-main event.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, we're going to be moving on to our main event in a minute.
So, before we get to that, Bailey is backstage giving Sasha a pep talk for tonight for some bizarre reason. But Sasha says, come on, it's not about Bailey.
I want to know.
Championship. It's Charlotte disowned and disrespected her own father. So when Sasha wins tonight, she'll dedicate her win.
Is that a dubstep version of John Cena?
That's what happens when you take Skrillex's Bangarang and mix.
I thought there was some horror nights to that, or at least for the first weekend, and that was about it. Yeah, that's Bangarang with John Cena.
That is pretty awesome.
Dalton Castle approves.
Yeah.
So it's time for our main event.
That's what John Cena's theme should be when he takes on Undertaker. Undertaker. And then all of a sudden, out comes the new school.
Damn, Cena.
Fuck you guys.
Do we all think that, since I'm not on the podcast regularly as I used to be, do we all think that Undertaker's last match is going to be in Orlando, like Ric Flair?
It's a possibility, and if that's the case, it's Undertaker and Cena.
Against Sting.
Oh. That's historic to be part of.
I mean, they could always they could do Sting's last match in Minneapolis next year at WrestleMania. If WrestleMania ends up going to Minneapolis, like a lot of people think it is. Because even though he's been billed from Venice Beach, California, he's had a lot of time in the Minneapolis area. And doing Sting, I know this is going to be a horrible wrestling match, but doing Sting and Ric Flair one last time would be pretty awesome when it comes to being able to cap a career like that.
Well, the city that I think should get WrestleMania, I know Minnesota was, it may have gotten, I don't know, it may have been a close bit between Orlando and Minnesota, but if Minneapolis gets it, then the next city after that really should get a WrestleMania is Canada, because their electricity that they bring that they brought to NXT TakeOver and Survivor Series was just.
I don't know if they'll go. I mean, well, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we talked about locations for WrestleMania, and Air Canada Center did come to mind.
I mean, if they sold out NXT and they sold out Survivor Series, they can certainly as hell sold out WrestleMania, or just not to go to a full blown out conversation on this topic, just give it the SummerSlam treatment. SummerSlam's going to be in Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn this year, and I think it will be in Brooklyn again next year. Just
Right.
have Survivor Series in Toronto and then NXT Takeover in Toronto for the next 2 years. And if it makes a lot of money in those 3 years in a row, then that's pretty much further proof that WrestleMania should be there.
I mean, we've already talked about this like ad nauseum about locations for Mania, talking about Minneapolis and Miami and Columbus, Ohio, and just doing like big dome stadiums and big giant places that could possibly hold 100,000 people. So, because they're not breaking the record this year.
No. They will break the record that they previously set at the Citrus Bowl with the Camping World Stadium and the additional seating for sure. It's going to break WrestleMania 24's record, but not the new all-time record now, which was Dallas.
Yeah, they can't. There's no way they can get even close to that because they can only seat 65,000 in just the arena alone without even worrying about ringside and the risers and the lower
North
risers.
Korea.
Oh yeah, the Pyongyang, North Korea show, exactly. The WCW show with Ric Flair and Antonio Inoki.
I think just because Aaron's here, I need to bring the old one back.
Oh no.
That's an advert. Fuck you, advert.
Oh my God! Yes.
Sit on my face, won't you please? Sit on my face. I want to sit you. I want you to sit me in your mouth and lick you out of the way.
Yeah, the only person missing from this show right now to get the band back together is Cleveland, but yeah. He would definitely approve of what you just played.
I know.
His
That's
name is
one.
Cleveland Brown. No.
So, main event time, and how ironic that we get this match the night that Aaron decides he wants to guest star.
Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
it's really timing. It's really I'm off today and I'm off tomorrow after working 7 days straight, and I just thought, the perfect opportunity. And I've had these opportunities in the past to join.
You got to realize, surely
surely
you should know the rule of thumb by now, Aaron. If a women's match, Sasha is main eventing a Raw, she's winning. And then 2 weeks later, fuck everything, Charlotte gets the belt back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, especially what happened after this match.
Hopefully this time, third time's the anti-charm.
Yeah.
Because it's weird to say that this was a very good match, but at the same time, because it just felt that, like, at certain points, we've seen better from these girls, but then some of the spots that they did sort of saved it to some extent. Yeah. Although I would say it was the big moonsault off the announce table to the floor, you could argue was botched.
Yeah, it definitely was.
You could argue it wasn't botched because from the way it was, if they were level with each other, Charlotte would have kneed Sasha right on the top of her head.
Yeah, we would have had a Jesse Sorensen situation on our
Oh
hands.
my God, I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it didn't look like she connected with Sasha, but not in totally. And
It was protected better than it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, especially like when it's not it's not that area of the arena is not padded anywhere they are. And
The way she sold that apron bump was just brilliant.
Right.
Just like
well, Charlotte.
that was sells like death.
Well, wait a minute. Charlotte, how she was selling the apron spot?
Sells like death.
Or Sasha? Because Charlotte can sell. She just can't talk on the mic, in my opinion.
Wow.
It was funny watching Cole though lose his shit. Like he was like, "No, not off the table. Get off the table."
Let's talk about a couple big things at this match. One thing I want to mention right away is that Sasha kicked out of natural selection using the ring steps. And then I don't know why or how, but the Singapore Cane was reintroduced into this match.
Well, no, half of the match wasn't a Falls Count Anywhere match.
No, it wasn't.
Half of the match was ring, and then when we get past the hour, then you can start doing crazy shit.
Pretty much.
I liked how the Singapore Cane was used.
Yeah, I was missing the white Russian leg sweep. I'd like to have seen that.
Yeah, it would have been a good offense.
Yeah, so Charlotte goes for the vertical neck breaker, and when the neck breaker does actually connect, it doesn't look very good. Figure eight. I like how she caned her out of the figure eight. That worked really well. Once again, can we make up our mind? Obviously, this is the ECW era. They just still they're dealing with ECW nostalgia. They just put out the special. They're airing all the ECW hardcore televisions and all the ECW shows, the television shows that used to air on the MSG network and the stuff that used to be on like the Fox Sports network and all the pay-per-views and all that stuff's available on the network. Can we please just call it a Singapore Cane? I understand it's not a kendo stick, it's a Singapore Cane. If this was the 80s, it'd be a kendo stick. We're in the age now, that's a Singapore Cane.
No, if this was a UK show, it'd be a kendo stick.
Well, if it was Kendo Nagasaki, it would be too, because that's his namesake.
No, just because of the leg, any Singapore Cane over here is known as a kendo stick.
Well, right, but this is Charlotte, North Carolina.
Let's just put it this way: if this show was
Actually,
in
Noam
Philly,
Dar was on the show, and of course, remember the ITV show Christmas was produced by. So by default, I think we should call it the Nagasaki H-bomb.
That works for me.
if this show was in Philly, it would be pronounced as kendo stick. But I've always seen Owen's point whenever he's brought up the debate over if it should be called kendo stick or Singapore Cane. I actually thought about it before he even opened his mouth about it. I actually knew he was gonna bring it up.
Of course I am.
Not even
I think it
lying.
should be it should actually be called out. How much does this guy weigh?
Yes, indeed. So they fight in the crowd later on in the match towards the end, and they literally go up the actual steps and they use the rail. Well, I like the way this works, and this is the time where I'm going to call what they actually did and what they were trying to do, but they're still going to call anyway. So they're fighting in the crowd. Charlotte goes for the boot. Sasha ducks it, traps her in between the rail, and starts doing the repeated knee strikes. And then she gets behind her, and what they're going to say is a modified version of the bank statement. In actuality, what it was is she basically bit Charlotte completely in half with her foot in the small of the back. It was kind of like a modified surfboard without trapping the arms. And that's all that it took. And we have a brand new
Surfboard
women's
crossface?
champion. Not really a crossface per se, more of a surfboard like rear chin lock. And since Charlotte's so bendy,
yeah.
it worked even better. Because you
Yeah.
can't bend a lot of women on the roster like that.
When Sasha had won that title belt again and fell into the black guy behind her was
Hang
really
on.
funny.
Only women like Charlotte that can bend like that.
Oh no. What did I set up? Oh, he's not going to do anything. Good. Or is he?
No. Why would we give a fuck about Bram? He's in the DCC.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, and they've done a lot better, but they had a very unique ending that, to my knowledge, they've not done before. We've done things in the crowd, we've done things over the rail, like just spots with the throat and everything, but we've never done a submission spot using the rail before. That's very unique. And whomever was the road agent to this match, I'm looking at you, Jimmy Jacobs. I don't care if it's your fault or not. I'm going to say it is, for sake of argument.
Hang on, we know who's on the main roster now, though, don't we?
Ooh,
My girl,
that's right.
SDR.
Yeah, she totally came up with that finish then.
Oh, well, until we see the leaked script, we've got no guarantee. But
Well, we're gonna make sure that one way or another it's Ring of Honor based. That's all we're gonna say.
yeah,
This match was, in my opinion, a pay-per-view caliber championship match like Owens and Rollins had the previous week.
There's so many things. There's so many things in this match that could have went wrong, and they did, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They never lost the crowd. That was one. I'll give them that. They never lost the crowd at all. There were a couple of things that were a little bit shaky, but they won. They won that back. They covered up well. I just think that they've done better in the past.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just the atmosphere that they created the magic like they always have
Right.
in the match tonight, as they always had. And the thing about tonight's Raw overall is I thought tonight felt like a pay-per-view with the moments that we saw, even though it wasn't like a lot of matches, if that makes sense. Like, it was a good effort, for effort on Raw's part to know that there's a SmackDown pay-per-view coming up, and it's not Raw's, and it's not a joint pay-per-view since we're back in those days now, here
Right.
in 2016. So I thought it was good on Raw's part to have really a good follow-up show to last week's show that also felt like a pay-per-view because of the moments that had happened. And I'm liking these Attitude Era little inserts of off-location brawls and using the arena environment again. That's what that's what I've kind of wanted as a WWE fan for quite some time now, and I speak for the rest of the WWE universe that's probably wanted it. Like, some of the stuff that happened tonight, I legit had to check when Paul Heyman was bleeped out after dropping the F-bomb, even though they bleeped it out even before he sounded the F letter. It was a long bleep. I literally legit checked my TV guide to see if it was still PG. So, it's pretty awesome that, it's not it's becoming more relevant to become a little bit more edgy now in WWE instead of just dropping hints at it. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I I don't
It's
want
icing.
I do not want the Attitude Era to come back.
I mean, it may not be the right of it may not be the right variety group of stars. It's certainly not the same WWE that we all grew up with.
No.
Depending on how old we are, or when we were born. I was born in the 90s and started watching it in the very, very early 2000s. So I kind of missed the 90s, the ECW and your WCW versus WF and Attitude Era. So I really started watching WWE at the tail end of the Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression Era, which I really loved. They did some crazy shit in Ruthless Aggression Era too. Um, so, but anything to get ratings, and I think that's what
Right.
Raw's done the past couple of weeks. Whereas SmackDown is the spirit of competition show, where it is just wrestling, um, under the power of Shane and Daniel Bryan, versus Raw as like the crazy show where anything can happen. So I think both shows now really have a distinct difference between the two, despite them what Ashley was saying, that they jointly promote each other. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they do, because it is the same company. It's competition within the company.
I've just
That's what it is.
realised Paul Heyman got it wrong.
It's a fucking show.
No, it's not a fucking show. It's a game.
It's fucking object. You're an inanimate fucking object.
Yeah,
Oh, I think that's a
the
good way
old
to end the
ones
show.
are coming back.
I gotta admit that there was one commercial during one of the commercial breaks tonight during Raw that it actually got my attention. I was looking on Twitter, and I had to look away from my phone to see what the commercial was, because it had like a familiar music, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh my god, that's the WWE 2K17 commercial. That's pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome commercial they did.
I think on that note, that's our show. It was a decent edition of Raw. There's some really good moments. It felt like it meant something.
Mm-hmm.
As Blompier put it, even though I'm not watching the extra feed,
Right.
I know from his tweet that he's right, because he simply said best Raw in blood. Tonight felt like a show that you sort of had to watch
I agree.
more than skip.
Yes.
Yeah, you needed to watch this show. I mean, like the cruiserweight matches were short, but they were effective in order to get over 205 live starting tonight. Well, today. Sasha and Charlotte went too short, but that was just to build up to their real main event, which is what it should have had anyway. I don't care about Braun Strowman. I don't care about Rusev and Enzo. I don't care about Roman Reigns either, but I mean the match was solid, and the match at pay-per-view is going to be good. I mean, the Good Brothers and the New Day, they delivered like they always do. And we had a solid main event. We had women in the main event, and it wasn't just what's the line? It's like bathroom break. It's not a bathroom break anymore. This isn't the time that I'm going to go get soda, or I'm going to get a popsicle, or I'm going to get a like chips or something. No, when the women are on the show, I'm going to be paying attention.
And these fans they were standing on their feet during
Absolutely.
the match introductions from JoJo. As they should be. Mick Foley, as a strong supporter of women's wrestling, it makes sense that he's the general manager of Raw because of that reason, because they They have a great women's division. SmackDown has a decent one too, but with Sasha and Charlotte and Raw, you can't go wrong.
The problem with SmackDown's women's division is they don't push them well enough. They don't give them the time that they need to develop long matches.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing that I can make that observation and judgment. We're coming from someone who really hasn't watched any of WWE in the past few months. That Raw's women are better than SmackDown's women.
I don't watch SmackDown at all, but that's because I don't have time.
Oh yeah, same here. But all these women though can go. The ones from
Right.
NXT and the ones that need a push and are at least getting somewhat of a push, like Natalia. She gets good crowd reactions, and there's support from her fans that want to see her get pushed, and Becky Lynch
Right.
finally becoming champion. So all these women can go. So both shows, they should be pushing them. They should be pushing them well and really making them the spotlight. Have the women ever been the main event on SmackDown Live yet?
No, and I don't think that's going to happen.
That's a mistake, I think, on Shane and Dana O'Brien's part, that I think they can kind of one up on Raw and somehow do something with that. Like,
They don't have a strong enough division that would push that as a television main event.
The only person that is on the level of the Raw of any credibility, Alexa Bliss is not ready. Doesn't really need it.
That was an interesting conversation for me because I kind of heard you cut out a bunch and then I heard you laugh.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say too.
Oh.
But yeah, I think that's our show. We will be back tonight at 9 p.m. for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast, talking NXT, Impact, Lucha Underground, the Indies, Japan. We're going to talk about What Culture Pro Wrestling. There's all sorts of things that's to happen this week. We're going to talk about SmackDown and 205 Live, the Go Home Show.
That's on Tuesdays now?
Well, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, because this show's going up on Tuesday. So, yes.
Oh.
Because it's Tuesday. So, yes, that's why it's going up on tomorrow, is in Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
So, all that will be discussed tonight.
Long day.
9 p.m. So, Friday night as soon as it finishes, we're going to be, Ashley and myself, we're going to be joining everyone for Ring of Honor Final Battle, our podcast on the final Ring of Honor pay-per-view of 2016. Got a lot to talk about. That's going to be fun. And this Sunday night will be
a very historic Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
Oh, God, yes, absolutely.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And then TLC is going to be the podcast as soon as the show finishes on Sunday night with Ashley, myself, and who knows, may be joining us for that show. Guess we'll see. So real quick in the meantime, Scott had family commitments tonight, so hopefully he'll be joining us next week. And it was nice to have Whit pop in and Will pop in. It's Travis's birthday, so he can't really, I'm sure he's busy or doing things right now. So like I said, again, shout out to Travis on his birthday. Cleveland as well. Hopefully he'll be returning in the near future. Big shout out to Acer as always. He's definitely a viable commodity when it comes to the chat room most nights.
All right, Acer, still around. That's awesome. And
same with Jeremy Mills, Tyler Powell, Ginger Boy Wonder. And I see Will pop in the chat for a little bit. Everybody in chat, thank you very much. You can follow Acer at Acer1337, yes in a row on Twitter. Follow Wit on Twitter at JediWit82. Wit, of course, is one of the newest members of the Popcast Network Elite, our Halloween Horror Nights podcast. We just did last week. It's 7.5 hours, and it's the brand new group. So join myself and 8 of the other Popcast Network Elite members. One's missing, but she'll be back for the one we're doing in December. So stay tuned for that. Follow Will on Twitter at HHNDog. Follow Travis on Twitter at Travis Coaster. Follow Cleveland on Twitter at ControCleve. And Scott on Twitter at GR8 TRAVLN Scott. So great traveling Scott on Twitter. And Aaron, where can we find you on social media?
Oh boy, it's been months since I put myself over. Jesus. Really feels like the old days again. You can follow me on right here on Twitter at Mr. ENT92. If you access the podcast through the link I tweet out about the show tonight on there. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Entertainment92. Like my Facebook fan page, Mr. Entertainment92 as well. And I will be discontinuing my Vine because Vine is going away. So that will be gone. So I'll be one less social media network I'm still
Vine
on.
2016.
Yeah. I don't even use Vine anymore. And I'm still on Wrestling Amino. I'm not active on Wrestling Amino as I used to be because, like I said, I used to do these podcasts full time. And it was great to be back and kind of just really take a trip down memory lane a few times,
Right.
and hear the Sounders again, and talk to you guys again. And I hope I can do this again soon, when my schedule allows it. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, I still do vlogs, just not not like I used to as I would like to. But I do have 2 new vlogs that entertainers and fans of Popcast Network, if they would like to watch. If you're a WWE fan, I did a vlog at the WrestleMania on sale party, and also at the men's basketball game that same week. UCF nights when they went against the St. Nichols, and it was NXT night at the CFE Arena where I met NXT champions Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dash Wilder, and Scott Dawson, and No Way Jose. So that was really, really cool to meet all those guys finally. Cool interaction with the Revival, and Shinsuke was just laid back and chill.
But first,
And Asuka,
glorious.
and Asuka was very sweet, giving everybody a hug, including me. So that was nice. So yeah, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Happy birthday to Travis. I really feel bad that I've been busy so much that I can't do these as much as I would like to still. But anytime my schedule allows, because I didn't know how busy and hectic my life would really get. My life has really changed in the past few months. I just got the call today that I got a promotion, and I've only been working here for like 5 months. So everything's really kind of just really crazy and going fast, and the support's been overwhelming. But it was really, really great to be back on the show tonight, and I realize that I'm always welcome back with open arms. So as my schedule allows it, I would love to join anytime on the wrestling side of things.
Of course. And in the near future, and I mean the very near future, things may be getting a little bit different around here too. So more information on that in the near future. Big shout out to Acer.
Wait, we're
See
doing
him in
our
chat
own
right now.
slammies?
No, we're not doing our own slam.
The times
Thank
they
God.
are changing.
Oh, in more ways than one, sir. You have no idea. Acer says it's a good thing
2017 is the year of change.
Yeah, that is the biggest understatement of tonight's
To do it in the right accent. You need
Oh, Elias Sampson. It's a good thing I'm still alive and around, or else you will be on the list. Also, do note that I am not being deleted, nor was I rendered obsolete, and no, I don't have amnesia either.
So Acer is broken?
It's possible. Check out his channel, Acer 5000 on YouTube as well. So all the links are in the description bar below. Check out all the social medias. And Ashley?
Find me on Twitter at the latest Game with Ash got put up earlier today.
Yep.
About hype and reality in video games, which is where fantasy wrestling just got real. Whatever the fantasy warfare, I've given up on that fucking slogan anyway.
It's a fucking game.
Check out other podcasts like this, except with less use of the Stranger Things music. Over at snsradionetwork.com.
Grab your egos and let's
Oh
talk
shit!
wrestling.
Okay.
It's great in my head because I'm hearing Ashley cut out every once in a while, so I still don't know what's going on.
That's an important bit.
Exactly. Follow me on Twitter at Suro and Disney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our merchandise available at Zazzle. Check out our Patreon at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. Pretty much everything and everything is Popcast Network. Or anything and everything. That works too. If you're a Horror Nights fan, check out our 7.5-hour podcast from last weekend with the new elite of the Popcast Network. The only person that did not make that show is Mockingjay, and she will be joining us for our special first Halloween Horror Nights 27 podcast, which is going to be in the next couple of weeks, so sometime in December, because come January, a lot of things are going to change. But we'll make that announcement in the very near future. I'm sure you're probably picking up what I'm putting down if you're following me on Twitter. So that being said, Aaron, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And yes, the door is always open for you to return.
I appreciate that. And then stay entertained, guys.
Indeed. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Wrestling fans will join you tomorrow for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. Friday/Saturday in this case for Ring of Honor, and Sunday/Monday for TLC. Monday/Tuesday for Raw, and then back again on Wednesday. So thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
By the way, we do actually know what Enzo was doing last week before they started filming. He was saying something like this.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start to melt away. I take a look at my
How you doing?